And welcome back to There's Always Next Year podcast. It is March 20th, Monday, and we're back here yet again for another great episode of There's Always Next Year. I went to a wedding this weekend. Anyone else have any fun?
Yes, I had an exciting weekend. I did not go to a wedding. I went out a little bit on St. Patrick's Day with a few friends, and
I was one of those friends, by the way.
That was why I just extended my hand. You know, there are some things you don't have to say to clarify, right?
Hey, the podcast can't see your hand.
You're right.
Also, nobody sent me an invite.
Hate that. Hate that.
Would you have been available?
Absolutely not.
But got to celebrate the day of my people, and got to welcome a new friend home on Saturday. Welcome a four-legged friend home on Saturday.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Reggie started hanging out with me Saturday morning. I'm fostering him currently.
Nice.
We'll see how things go, but he's been a really good boy so far, and it's nice to have an additional presence around the old apartment.
It's nice to have a little companion.
It absolutely is.
That's your doggo.
That's right.
Yeah.
Maddie, how'd the weekend go, man? Did you dig into anything fun?
Yeah, it went pretty well. Saturday, it was cold as hell, so I stayed inside. But part of that was because I knew my parents had invited me over on Sunday to spend the afternoon there, putting together an 8 by 8 by 10 foot tall greenhouse on their backyard patio. And I have to say, it's been a minute since I've done a collaborative project with my brothers, my two younger brothers. But, you know, all in all, it ended up being a pretty good time. We waited till afternoon to open the beers. And the instructions were for the wrong model, but we figured it out.
There you go.
Plenty of jokes were made about what mom was going to grow in the greenhouse, especially if Kansas legislature would get on with the times like Missouri. You know, Kansas has legalized sports gambling, and I hear today was a big moment for Missouri sports gambling, but Missouri does have legal marijuana.
They do?
Yeah.
No,
that's what I hear. I don't live there though.
I don't live there either.
But it ended up being a good afternoon. I was a little worried because my family is a bit incapable of communication. And when everybody was like, hey, what time are we doing this? I told them what time I would get there. And then I got a picture message of them there like 2 hours before I said I would be there. And I was like, what's going on?
What's going on?
That's not how that song goes at all.
I didn't know it was a song.
What's going on?
Yes.
What's going on?
Stick around to the end of the episode and I'll put another little bitty of Mike singing in there.
But anyway, sounds like a great weekend for all of us.
A green weekend or a great weekend?
Both.
Both.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
But yeah, Matt, your parents could definitely capitalize on the marijuana market if they decided to start
on that green
some,
market.
Greens there.
Once it becomes legal.
Maybe once it becomes legal. They might make more money if they do it illegally. I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough to do as much now that right across the border people can get it. Before that recreational legalization would have been the time to capitalize.
Yeah.
Before the medical would have been really the time to capitalize, but definitely before the recreational.
But also,
just hypothetically.
Also this weekend, though, we had a lot of big college basketball games going on. NCAA March Madness started off this weekend. There's one team still left.
To be fair, it started off on Tuesday.
It did, I guess. But none of those teams are still in the tournament.
No, but some from Thursday are.
Did any of them make the first round?
Yeah, two of them. Two of the four.
50-50?
Fairleigh Dickinson had a big upset win over
Fairleigh who?
Fairleigh Dickinson. Big upset win over Virginia, I'm pretty sure. No, that was
Vermont.
No, That was Furman. Furman beat Virginia.
Furman.
Fairleigh Dickinson beat #1 seed Purdue, and they moved on to the second round. They ended up losing to Florida Atlantic last night. But it was still a really good game. And surprisingly, Fairleigh Dickinson, if you've seen their court, it literally looks smaller than my high school's court. So
the gym. The court is regulation. The gym.
Okay, the gym. Sorry for all of you.
That is a very different thing.
Yeah, but to be fair, most people that view the court are sitting in the gym.
Correct.
I think of a court being the court that you play on, not the arena.
Yeah, but only the players step on the court, Adam.
Well, right. But we don't talk about the field in the NFL. We talk about the stadium.
That's right. It's Arrowhead, not GEHA Field.
Actually, it's GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium.
Yeah. Technically it is.
Move along.
Technically it is.
Anyway, we had some
tiny facilities. They didn't even have their own band.
They did not.
They borrowed Dayton's band.
They used
shit.
They used Dayton's band.
That's fantastic.
Dayton's band came in and like, hey, we'll help you.
Did they come flying in?
They came flying in because they're the Flyers, you know?
I was wondering if you pick up on that.
Dayton came in and helped them out, played their, they learned their fight song.
There's a dad joke for you people.
In less than 24 hours, learned their fight song, and the Dayton Flyers band. Hey, props to you guys. You guys are the good guys of the week. You're not the dick of the week. You're the good guys of the week because you turned out to help out a fellow smaller school. Dayton's not the biggest school, but you turned out to help a smaller school and help them to get their name out there a little bit.
But they did ultimately lose to another FU school, didn't they?
FAU school.
Foul!
Yeah. So funny, I put $3 on Farley to win when they were down by like 9 points early in the game. It was plus $1,000. It was going to be $3 to win $30.
No kidding.
And the next thing I know, I look at it and they're tied. They're tied. And I watched the end of it and it was so sad.
Yeah, it was a close game. It was a close game. They tried their asses off and they just didn't come through in the clutch.
You know what's funny?
What's funny?
Whenever I hear anybody use the term $3, I just hear the soup Nazi in Seinfeld saying, "You want bread? $3." And when I was bartending, like several months ago, I was bartending on Thursday night, and it's half price beer night, so our beers are $3.
Yeah.
And somebody would come up, ask for a Bud Light. You want a Bud Light?
$3.
And nobody got it, and I'm just sitting over there cracking myself up.
And to be fair, you're the younger audience for Seinfeld.
Yeah, like that was the night where the older cheap people came in, but they clearly didn't have as good of a sense of humor as I do, or an appreciation for comedy like myself. It takes a special kind of person to truly appreciate comedic genius like Seinfeld. Not everyone gets it.
And maybe I'll get there one day.
I can try to help teach you, guide you. But Mike was talking about the good guy of the week being the Dayton Flyers band and not being the dick of the week.
Before you dig into the dick of the week, though, I'm
not digging into anyone.
Okay. I want to commemorate our Kansas State Wildcats, though, as the only ones still in the tournament. You can see me wearing a K-State shirt right now. Only ones.
Not if they're listening to the podcast.
Still in the tournament.
Second time we said that today.
From the Kansas City area. Mizzou's out. KU is out. And K-State's going to rep Kansas to the best that they ever can.
Boy, it's tough hearing you talk through these sometimes.
I've got a feeling that K-State's going to go to the Final Four this year.
I got a feeling.
Woo! Tonight's going to be a good night.
And they play Michigan State?
They play Michigan State.
And they upset...
Tom Izzo in March is not to be trifled with.
They upset Marquette.
Michigan State by 10.
Nope. K-State's going to make it to the Elite Eight and then to the Final Four. Calling it.
I would gladly...
Last week you said that K-State was going to lose to Kentucky.
But they didn't. And since they got past Kentucky, that makes me think they can get past Michigan State. And that makes me think they can make it to the Final Four.
Last week you said KU was going to win it all.
Well, But obviously that's not happening either. That's the craziness about March Madness. The craziness about March Madness is anything can happen any given night. KU could have won it all, but they didn't, and they lost in the second round, and they suck. Sorry, KU fans.
No,
they're terrible.
Reel it in.
Just let me get going here a little
No,
bit.
because you're going way off the wrong end. You're trying to capitalize on you being wrong about a prediction and shit on KU.
Well, it worked.
In my bracket,
if it worked, then you just screwed your own team by that methodology.
It's not going to work now.
Okay.
And now I will rush to get this podcast out before K-State plays.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for your work. Your hard work.
But seriously, the dick of the week was easy this week. We watched the second of this season close matchups between Kansas and Arkansas. We saw I can't remember if it was double or triple overtime game during the SEC showdown during the regular season. Right. I only remember because I bet on the game and took the under as far as score. And then the game went into fucking triple overtime.
And so that definitely screwed you.
And I was just screwed.
Right.
But that was the second time we'd seen those teams match up and compete very closely. KU was running away with that game in the first half of the first time they met. Much closer the second time. Congrats to Arkansas on getting it done. However, boy, you can't help but just kind of
cringe.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it. Just cringe at Coach Eric Musselman. I don't know what on God's green earth he was thinking. Like, you're not a player. Like, if a player does that, that's one thing. It still doesn't look good. But you are the head coach. You are the face of it in the press conferences. You're the face of it for recruiting. You're the face of it from every facet as far as that team goes. And you're going to rip your shirt off and get on the scorer's table when you win a matchup of the top 32. Like, granted, you are not projected to beat KU, but it's not outlandish for an 8 seed to make it to the Sweet 16.
It's not.
It's not outlandish for an SEC school to make it to the Sweet 16.
I would counteract that argument and say, you talked about how Eric Musselman ripping his shirt off, celebrating, having a great time with his team is bad for recruiting. I think that's great for recruiting. I think him coming in, showing that passion, showing that sort of energy is good for recruiting and is going to bring some good players to their program. Because who doesn't want to play for a college coach who is all about his team? All about his team. For sure.
Does that convey that he's all about his team?
What does it convey that he's all about then?
Himself. To me, that says I want to be on the camera. I'm literally taking my shirt off and getting up on the fucking table, and that's being all about your team? That sounds stupid.
Oh, you wanted the camera on the players who won the game? No. Look at me. I'm going to take my shirt off over
I'm going to
here.
show my mediocre body and jump on a table?
You guys say that. I think
It's a round of 32. You're not in the Final Four.
KU was the number 1 seed.
Great.
They beat a number 1 seed.
Great.
Can you imagine after every game that Bill Snyder won, if he took his shirt off at the K-State field and just started going at it? You know how weird it is, dude?
Bill Snyder.
Show the players. We just watched the whole game of the players. Everyone wants to see the players' reaction to winning. The coach is a second thought.
Okay. Well, that's fine. That's fine for you guys to think that. But I can see high school players coming out of high school, coming in. I'm not going to back down for this. High school players coming in, seeing a coach that has that much energy, that much, drive to try and win, try and get them through that NCAA tournament. They're going to want to go play for that guy.
I got a question then. I'm going to double down on this.
All right.
Yep, I know where this is going.
You know exactly where this is going.
Sure
All right,
do.
if you're a recruit and you got Jerome Tang and Eric Musselman recruiting you right now, same scholarship offer for both, where are you going? Based on that argument.
Well,
Based on that argument.
I'm probably going to Arkansas.
Okay.
But then you also got to see Jerome Tang's kind of a similar way. He just hasn't taken his shirt off.
He's not a similar way at all.
He's very
He
energetic.
talks about he's very you can be energetic and not be about yourself.
I don't think Musselman's completely about himself.
Okay, I've stated why I think he is. When Tang takes the mic and lets the focus come on him, what does he say?
Look at me, I'm going to take my shirt off.
Or does he say, we? And what can we do together? And push the team mentality, which you've talked about on this podcast.
Right, which I have.
These are polar opposites as far as how guys act.
What did Musselman say when he took the mic?
He didn't. He just took his shirt off and jumped on a table.
So you can't say, like, what did Tang say when Tang took the mic and not say anything about,
You want to know what he could have been doing instead of taking his shirt off and getting on the table?
Congratulating his teammates, his players.
Or doing a post-game interview, which, there were people waiting on him to do a post-game interview where he could have talked about, I'm really proud of my team for persevering through this.
Yeah.
Instead, he got on a fucking table and took his shirt off like some drunk guy at a club.
Facts. And with that, so I was watching this live and they were talking on the TV about this being about tradition. And I was like, I don't know much about Arkansas. They're chanting pig wee suey or whatever the hell they do.
Woo pig suey.
I got it close. And I thought it was an Arkansas tradition, but you guys are showing me this video today.
The woo pig suey is an Arkansas
yes,
tradition.
that absolutely is. But I thought the coach with his shirt off had to have been the tradition they were talking about, because that was the wildest thing I was seeing on the TV. And I thought the only explanation could be tradition. And I think in a sense it was tradition when you guys showed me this clip right here.
Posted a pic of you holding the trophy without a shirt. What's the deal?
Well, I was just got caught up in the emotion. I couldn't get my shirt on quick enough, and then I just went around celebrating. And
He's no stranger to taking his shirt off on the TV.
He's no stranger, but that again shows how excited he gets when his kids win. When his kids, I think he was with Nevada at that point in time, and they won their, was it Pac-12? Or is Nevada in the Pac-12? I don't know. When they won their conference championship, he got so excited, he had to take his shirt off, put their championship shirt on. He just couldn't get his championship shirt on, and
too many muscles.
Yeah, I mean, what a guy. What kind of high school kid would not want to go play for that type of guy?
This guy. And I know for a damn fact that my parents would also be saying, don't go play for this class.
I think it's not an absolute negative what he did. I just can't imagine it's a positive on anything.
You're right. And to that point, what I'll say is, more than anything, agree to disagree on it. To me, it's an act like you've been there before thing.
I get that. I 100% get that. I just...
Like, round of 30, even if it's Sweet 16, I'll humor it a little bit more, but it's a round of 32 win for an 8 seed.
Over a 1, though. Over the basically second overall number 1 seed.
We watched a 16 seed do it and keep their top on.
Well, then that 16 seed
and their pants on, for that matter,
is no longer there. So,
well, I guess they should have taken their pants off.
They maybe should have celebrated a little harder.
But, you know...
Yeah, Carr doesn't like it either.
Carr's not down with that shit. Pivoting here. Football, man.
Oh, we're talking football again? I thought we were done with football like 3 weeks ago.
No, I mean, there's still off-season acquisitions and chaos happening. But to me, the one interesting storyline right now is the NFL wide receiver market as far as free agents go. We've got, there was speculation about where Brandon Cooks was going. He wound up in Dallas.
Yep. Went from Houston to Dallas,
which we've seen a little bit of. I believe we saw Dalton Schultz go from Dallas to Houston today.
Yep.
But that removes one of the bigger names as far as the wide receiver. I would say that the top 2 wide receivers that are being talked about a ton are still out there. Adam Thielen obviously got picked up as well.
He got picked up by Carolina. That's what I was going to say.
But the 2 that are remaining,
OBJ
and D-Hop.
DeAndre Hopkins.
I saw OBJ tweet something out about saying, I'm not saying I'm worth $20 million, but I'm worth more than 4. I don't know which team that comment was directed at. I saw some speculation, but I didn't see anything that made me believe that. I was pretty certain it was directed at a particular. I'm sure it was directed at a particular franchise, but I don't know which one. I know that among the 2 teams that I've seen kind of consistent communications surrounding them having interest, them attending workouts, them reaching out to the team, for at least as far as D-Hop goes, the team that currently has the rights to him. But the Chiefs and the Browns, I'm hearing both of those names thrown around. And obviously, as far as OBJ goes, there's history in Cleveland. Not with Deshaun Watson, but with Kevin Stefanski. I wonder about that because I've seen some Browns fans that say, OBJ come back. I was not an OBJ fan when he was in Cleveland. I didn't like the way he departed. I didn't like how him and his dad threw shade at the team via social media. I thought it was pretty classless. I also thought Baker was a pretty class act. Obviously, there might be things I don't know. I am a little bit of a Baker homer, and I'll be the first to acknowledge that. But from what I gathered of the situation, I thought that OBJ's camp could have handled it better. To hear that there's speculation and fans wanting OBJ to return, I've got mixed feelings on.
Well, and you mentioned Kansas City as being one of those possible landing spots for OBJ.
Or D-Hop.
But as a KC fan with OBJ, I would offer him a 1-year, prove-it contract, $5 million. That's what I would offer him because he hasn't had a 1,000-yard receiving year since like 2018. And he's been hurt a lot. Torn ACL 2 times. Like there's no reason to try and offer him more, but he is wanting a lot more. He's wanting a more longer term contract. He's in those years of his age bracket where this is the time of year to get like a 3 or 4 year contract and try and build your money up basically. But he needs to come out and prove it. He went to not St. Louis. He went
Rams,
to Los Angeles. He went to Los Angeles. He helped them to win a Super Bowl, and he was a very integral part of that.
He was.
But
that's what his resume is right now, is what he did last time he played in LA. You're absolutely right about that.
He didn't play at all last year.
And he got hurt in the Super Bowl.
He got hurt in the Super Bowl. He tore his ACL for the second time.
He hasn't played a full season probably since 2018, to your point.
Right. So he needs to figure it out. And, I mean, maybe he needs to take a one-year prove-it type of deal.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him take a 1-year deal. I don't know if he's opposed to taking a 1-year deal. I wouldn't be surprised to see him take a 1-year deal. I would say it was probably closer to 9 to 12 for a 1 year. Than 5. Based on him sending out that tweet about 4, I don't see him turning around and accepting a 1-year deal for 5.
And I get that, but that's as a Chiefs executive, that's what I would pay him.
And that's
1
fair.
year, $5 million. Come prove it. You're playing with the best quarterback in the league. You're playing with the best offensive-minded coach in the league.
Just make it incentive-laden. Just do bonuses for, hey, you hit 1,000 yards, we're going to pay you an extra $750,000.
Exactly.
You catch 8+ touchdowns on the year, we're going to pay you an extra $500,000. We make to the playoffs, we make it to the second round, you have, whatever.
We win a Super Bowl, you're going to make all of these extra money that you can make.
Incentivize it. Like, there are ways to do it where you don't have a cap hit, but these guys can still get paid in the realm that they want to.
But as a Chiefs fan, I would rather see us go get DeAndre Hopkins.
What do you want to pay? So we got to
trade.
Well, right, but I saw the speculation of what would you be paying for the last 2 years of D-Hop's contract? I think it was like 2 for 34, maybe. Was what
Honestly,
I think I saw that.
I was looking at like 10 mil a year, so 2 for 20.
No, you don't get to pick it. He's under contract.
So you got to pay You can't restructure that contract at all?
Well, you can. I mean, if he agrees to, you can. You don't
Yeah.
just get to say, "Hey, we're paying you less."
I gotcha.
So the way it would work out is either during the trade, the Chiefs and Cardinals would come to an agreement where they say, "Hey, we're going to pay 30% of this. You're going to pay 70%, whatever," or the Chiefs inherit the entire contract and then convince him to restructure or work on some sort of extension where they work out something along those lines. But depending on how the agreement of the trade is, I mean, if he's under contract, he's due what he's due, regardless of which team's paying him.
Who pays that to him?
And who pays what percentage.
Well,
of
I
it,
did see something interesting. Mahomes just restructured his contract. So Chiefs have an extra $9.6 million under their salary cap that they can use. So that makes me think that maybe they could be going for DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know.
Deshaun Watson restructured his contract for $36 million in additional cap space.
That is good because DeAndre Hopkins didn't do much last year to prove that he was worth all of the guaranteed money that he was going to get.
I mean, I wouldn't either if I was getting thrown by Skylar Murray. He's a clown. I maintain this, and I will continue to maintain this until Skylar comes on the podcast and proves me wrong.
Kyler.
Yeah, him too. But moving forward, now. Oh, nick that a little bit. It's time for Mike's Dad Jokes. And Mike's Dad Jokes, we are proud to be sponsored by Travis Koppel and the Jenkins team as part of Platinum Realty. No pressure, just results. Travis specializes in helping the first responder community here in the Kansas City area. Travis himself is a longtime first responder, also a car guy, Kansas City sports guy, and avid supporter of There's Always Next Year, which we greatly appreciate.
Thank you.
But for your residential real estate needs, if you're selling a house, if you're buying a house, if you're thinking about buying a house, if you know somebody that's moving to the area thinking about buying a house, put them in contact with Travis. Put them in contact with that Jenkins Realty team. The Jenkins team is part of Platinum Realty. No pressure, just results. 913-961-7110. Travis, appreciate you as always, my friend. Mike, I've got the Laffy Taffy ready this week, so just remember that.
I know you do. But these are going to be great. You won't even need to grab one. Here we go. Well, he's grabbing one anyway. Well, all right. Why do frogs never park illegally?
So they're not a toad?
God damn, he's good.
He's quick.
He's so good. Like, I hadn't even begin processing the words that you said before he had the answer.
He's pretty
like,
good. It's not...
I consider myself to be a relatively quick-witted guy, and Matt really checks my ego every week with this shit.
Adam, you are a fellow intellectual. Don't worry, friend.
It's not quite that, but it's just because they're afraid of getting towed.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, that too.
Where do math teachers love to take vacations?
The Himalaya multiplication is. I don't know.
No, that's completely wrong. Adam, you got to guess?
Below the equator.
Adam does not have a guess.
Equator's a good guess.
No, the guys, they just go to Times Square. You know, you got to time something, you got to square something. They're gonna go to Times Square.
Mike's got that math
And
down.
that's why I had Laffy Taffy.
That was a good one. Are you gonna read your Laffy Taffy right now?
I am.
Okay.
Oh, that's one that I'm gonna say it in a voice.
We're waiting.
What has teeth, but you don't need to brush?
Gears in your car?
I was just gonna say gears.
A zipper.
Okay.
You don't clean your zippers?
Never.
Ew.
I just let my gears grind too.
I think mine was better than that Laffy Taffy. I will put that out there right now. I think that Laffy Taffy joke was kind of mid. So, moving on. How do you stop a bull from charging?
Take away the charging cord.
That was good. Actually, you're actually pretty close. Not quite on it, but pretty close.
I don't know.
You just take away its credit card, so it can't charge anymore.
Different kind of charging.
Yeah. But you were close.
I was
you were
sidelining that one.
Yeah, that was good.
Boy, that smells mid.
You smell mid.
I think next week Mike should do a segment on all the new kids' words because
I'm with that.
he hangs out with them a lot, especially lately. And
Bet.
I think he's learning.
That sounds fire, fam.
Those aren't even new kids' words anymore. Those are words we were using back in college about 10 years ago.
That's giving me real modern vibes, fam.
Okay. Anyway, we'll move on again. Guess what? Baseball is not quite back as far as the MLB goes, but the World Baseball Classic is going on, and it is fire right now because guess what? USA is going to the finals. USA. No one else want to sing it with me? All right.
USA.
But USA is going to the finals thanks to a Trey Turner grand slam when they were down 7-5 against Venezuela. They ended up winning. They ended up winning 9-7 because of this Trey Turner grand slam. He comes through. He celebrates with his team, and then after the fact, he has the press conference, and he says basically that the vibe. There's one vibe. The vibe in that stadium rivaled what would be the crowd noise in the World Series because of how loud it was in that stadium down there in Miami.
It's electric on an international level, and I think it's really good that they have it in Miami where they can appeal to multinational audience.
Right. But anyway, USA is going to
USA.
The finals.
USA.
You know who plays tonight?
Japan
Plays tonight
against Mexico.
USA lost to Mexico.
I was watching it, Gertz.
Okay. Well, Japan or USA lost.
Saw Shohei Ohtani hitting. They were Mexico was up 3-0 when I saw.
They were.
Yeah.
Okay. So USA lost to Mexico when they played in their pool play. Japan though has been crushing literally everyone they've played. Let me read you the scores of what their past games have been because it's crazy. Japan beats Italy 9-3. Japan beats Australia 7-1. Japan beats Czech Republic 10-2. Japan beats Korea 13-4. Japan beats China 8-1. Literally blowouts, every single one. I don't have any doubt in my mind that I think Japan probably came back from that 3-0 deficit and beat Mexico.
You don't have any doubt?
Are you?
I love when you say things. I love when you say things like this.
Are you looking it up right now? Are you going to tell me?
Of course I am.
All right. Anyway, Mexico
up 5-4 in the bottom of the ninth.
Bottom of the ninth. That means Japan's got a shot. Is Shohei
Let's
up?
see if Shohei's going to hit.
Yeah, is Shohei going to be up and hit a home run?
Yoshida, who is 3 for 4 with a run and 3 RBIs, is up currently, and he's got a 3-0 count.
Yep.
Murakami is up next.
No doubt in my mind that Japan is going to win this game.
All right, I have some doubts, but while we're stalling for maybe an outcome of this game.
No, we're not. And Ohtani isn't going to hit. They're either going to win it before then or they're going to lose.
I have an ignorant question to ask, which is, did Salvador Perez play for Team USA or Team Venezuela?
He definitely
I'm guessing Venezuela.
He definitely played for Team Venezuela.
Okay.
But speaking of MLB players that are in the league that went and played for other countries, you've got 2 relatively big names that ended up getting hurt. And so this is a controversial aspect of, like, should they play in the World Baseball Classic? Should they not? Because they ended up getting hurt. Edwin Diaz, which we know from the ba 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 da la da 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 la da da la da da la da da, that song that we talked about probably many episodes ago.
Only true fans know.
The real ones.
He celebrated a big win for the Dominican Republic, or win over the Dominican Republic by blowing out his knee, jumping up and down.
I don't think that's how he intended to celebrate.
That's not how he intended.
He celebrated a big win by blowing out his knee.
Oh, that's what happened.
What a celebration.
That's what he did.
That's a party trick I've never seen before.
Some people get their backs blown out. Some people blow their knees out. You know, it just depends.
We're just going to let that simmer. Let that simmer for a second.
No, we're rolling right through it.
Isn't that a dance move?
Well, then you got Jose Altuve.
It could be. Ask Ja Morant.
You got Jose Altuve, who got hit by a pitch in his hand, and he broke his thumb, so he's going to be out for a good while.
Yeah, well, he's
MLB
a cheater, so
season
fuck him anyways.
We're really getting through this, aren't we?
Well, Jose Altuve will always have that by his name. Sorry, not sorry. But no, to Mike's point, as far as the speculation or the division surrounding people, I think major league fans being upset about some of their players being hurt in this. It's really both sides of the spectrum. I saw Keith Olbermann make a really insensitive tweet that he has gotten a lot of backlash from surrounding this whole argument. For these people of these countries that are represented in the World Baseball Classic, to see them compete as a team, the Olympics don't have baseball anymore.
They don't.
So this is the Olympics as far as baseball goes.
I was going to compare it to a FIFA World Cup. Like, you know how hyped people got about the FIFA World Cup.
Well, it's not to that point yet.
It's not
to that point yet.
It's not. But for those countries who are big in baseball, Venezuela,
right.
Puerto Rico, Cuba, those countries, and their teams are doing well.
That's
like, let them have fun.
Right. But more importantly, let them cheer. Let them get behind their team. It's in Miami for a reason. So these people from different countries can make their way there to see it. We never know where the World Series is going to be because each of these teams have home. It could be fucking Toronto for all we know. It could be LA. It could be Seattle. It could be wherever that is not convenient for these Central American countries. This is the chance they get to see because even in the world or in the Olympics, you never knew where it was going to be. It could be Asia. It could be wherever. Right. Like, with the World Baseball Classic, it's going to be located in Miami because I think it has been every year since it started. I am fully supportive of the World Baseball Classic. Is it unfortunate that these guys are getting hurt, that we have a couple major injuries of big-time franchise players? It absolutely is. Do I think that should deter from the World Baseball Classic moving forward and continuing to gain steam? I saw some stat that said that the attendance in these games was over 1 million and throughout these games, and it was double the next best attendance they have ever had, which I believe was 6 years prior.
In Miami for like a Marlins game or for
World Baseball Classic.
Okay.
As a cumulative attendance for the event, all the games included.
Okay.
I want to say they hit over 1 million, and obviously, if they haven't even played the championship game yet, there is still numbers to be added to that.
Right.
This has been, to date, the most successful World Baseball Classic, the most engaged upon World Baseball Classic, and from what I understand, maybe the most exciting World Baseball Classic, but definitely the most covered from a media standpoint.
I definitely agree with that, and I definitely am not trying to discourage players from trying to go play in the World Baseball Classic because it's just so unfortunate that Edwin Diaz gets hurt, basically jumping up and down, celebrating a win, and now Mets fans who coveted him last year are not going to be able to watch him walk out from the bullpen onto the field and watch him play this year.
I think they're less concerned about his walkout song and more concerned about his actual performance on the field. But to be fair, I'd be upset about both because that song is an absolute bop. Is that what the kids call it, Mike?
I would call it a banger, but you can call it a bop if you want.
Banger's a little
from 1960.
Banger's dating you.
Bop is definitely dating you.
Bop is a more recent term, isn't it?
No.
No,
Adam.
Bop is from the 1960s.
But hasn't it been reincarnated? Oh, it's a bop.
Oh, it's a bop.
See?
No, I would say people call things bangers more than they call
We're
them
going to
bops.
send out a poll to the youths.
We will send out a poll on this one. Do you call it a bop or do you call it a banger? Let us know.
Comment below.
Come on,
Send
youths.
Send
Youths.
us your pet
Hashtag
pics.
youths. But it'll be interesting to see the development of the World Baseball Classic as we move forward. As far as...
Well, it ends tomorrow, so yes.
I meant as it moves forward in coming years with
gotcha.
regard towards everybody's feeling about it currently
Right.
and being on opposite sides of things.
Glad you clarified that for us.
Yes.
I needed it for sure.
I got you, fam.
Thank you, fam.
As far as what you got, Maddie? What you got?
I was just gonna say no problem, bruh.
Bruh. I've been rewatching Ted Lasso during the first couple seasons, which
Oh, hold on, I gotta stop you. Japan wins 6-5, bottom of the ninth.
no shit.
Yeah,
No shit.
yeah.
God damn it.
I had no issue saying Japan was going to win that game. I'm just going to fucking blow that out there real quick. And
You
say
also
that.
had no issue last week saying the Royals were going to score 7 runs a game with Vinny Pasquantino and MJ Melendez. So I'm just going to say that.
I'm just going to say I was right this week, and I was right now.
Speaking of things I was right about, last week we talked about NCAA Wrestling on this podcast. We talked about Keegan O'Toole. We talked about Mizzou. We talked about the NCAA championships that were coming up this week. And do you guys remember by chance what I said? God damn it. I would deem as an ultimate success for Mizzou with regard towards team finish.
You said something about if they had a national championship or national champion or couple.
No, that's not what I said.
What'd you say?
I have a question because I have an idea about what he said. I probably couldn't regurgitate it word for word, but like,
I don't want you regurgitating anything.
aren't there like 10 national champions every year?
Individually, in
Correct.
weight classes, like
But-
individual wrestlers.
You
I'm
get-
talking about as a team.
Okay, see, I didn't
points
know
as
there was a team thing.
It's like a track thing. Like you get points per
Okay.
every
Yes.
event or per every weight class that you score points in, whether you're first, second,
Yeah.
or whatever. So you get points overall.
So essentially how it goes, just to give you a little bit of background, I believe there are 32 wrestlers that come in for each weight class. They are the top 32 wrestlers that come in for each weight class in the NCAA championships throughout the weekend.
Okay.
Wrestling starts on Thursday, it goes Friday, and it finishes on Saturday. There are a total of 6 sessions, 2 each day. You can either be in the champions bracket or the consolation bracket. The consolation bracket, I believe you can work yourself up to a 3rd place finish, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
like in the overall thing.
Overall for your weight class.
Okay.
As far as All-American distinction, the All-Americans are the top 8 in each weight class, which are considered podium finishers.
Yes.
They are the top 8. That is the All-American classification, if you ever hear about somebody classified as an All-American. Missouri had a total of 5 All-Americans amongst the 10 weight classes. So 5 of their 10 guys finished top 8. Not too shabby.
That's pretty good.
On the national level. They had one national champion at the 165-pound weight class. That was sophomore Keegan O'Toole, who is now a 2-time national champion. He knocked off David Carr from Iowa State, who he has faced 3 times this year.
David Carr beat him twice.
David Carr had beat him twice. Keegan O'Toole got the best of him, beat him 8-2 in the championship, just worked him. From what my dad told me.
Yeah, no, I watched that earlier the other day. I watched a replay of that on YouTube, and dude, Keegan O'Toole looked locked in. He looked like he was.
He's a stud.
Yeah, he was,
and he's been training knowing that he was going to see David Carr in the national championship.
He's got a couple more years in college left in him.
He was a sophomore this year.
Yeah.
And he's won a national championship in both of the first 2 years.
So he's going to be good for the Mizzou Tigers here going the next couple of years.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm throwing the picture of you and your father with Keegan O'Toole on the screen. Where was that taken?
That was taken after a Missouri meet in Columbia last year when he was a freshman. He was nice enough to take a quick picture with us after making quick work of an opponent. I want to say, no, I don't know if it was quick work because I think that might have been when we were seeing them against Oklahoma State. That was a hell of a matchup. Oklahoma State's no slouch. Speaking of Oklahoma State, Dayton Fix of Oklahoma State was one of the guys that was surprisingly upset. Dayton Fix was the favorite at number 1, I'm struggling on remembering the weight class for him off the top of my head.
Okay,
but 2 or 3-time national champion from Oklahoma State, and a heavy favorite, did not come out on top. But to go back to what I had predicted last week, I'd said if Mizzou finished in the top 5 as a team, I would consider that a marked victory for them. And guess where Mizzou finished as a team, boys?
Was it number 5?
Number 5.
Yep.
Number 5. A solid showing for the Missouri Tigers. Penn State won it overall. Cornell, I know we were talking about teams that were really strong last week.
Right.
There was one that I didn't mention.
We did not mention Cornell.
Cornell's a really, really good team as well. That you don't necessarily expect to see Ivy League there. Princeton has 1 or 2 guys as well, but Cornell's really, really strong in wrestling. And they were up there as well. But with that, we move on to everybody's favorite part of the show. It's time for Matt's Hostile Takeover.
And Matt's Hostile Takeover is sponsored by Extreme Pool Renovation and Construction by Jerry Downs. Jerry Downs is a master craftsman. He and his team have been renovating and creating unique pool designs in the Midwest for many years. The attention to detail and the level of customer service are second to none. Jerry and his team will come through for you like no one else. Ask Jerry about the other services he can offer too. Extreme Pool and Renovations and Construction. When good enough is not good enough. Give him a call at 816-738-3118 or reach out with an email at extremepoolsbyjerry@yahoo.com. That's extremepoolsbyjerry@yahoo.com.
And the legal team has suggested we play this.
Oh, I already pointed at it.
All right. Well, Matt's Hostile Takeover. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Harley. There's something weird going on in Japan. Middle schoolers and high schoolers are running amok, causing trouble with social media.
Wait, it's not just Japan gonna go play USA in the World Baseball Classic. There's something else going on.
There
in Japan?
is, and all these kids are causing trouble by licking the sushi.
Is this like licking the frog?
Well, I think the frogs are supposed to get you high or something.
Or was it a toad? Yeah.
Yeah, toads.
You're definitely supposed to hallucinate.
Yeah, no.
Otherwise,
I don't think
you're just licking a reptile.
So in Japan,
not if you hallucinate. Sorry, continue.
In Japan, they have these restaurants, these sushi places, where your order comes around on these sushi conveyor belts.
We have some of those here.
They're like sushi trains, aren't they?
Overland Park in Olathe. We got those.
Wow, you guys gotta tell me about them. But we'll get there. It's kind of reminiscent of all these damn kids TikTok challenges that you've heard about, like the milk jug challenge, where you slap some milk jugs on the floor, make a huge mess in the grocery store, or the
youths suck.
Yeah, or I think the original challenge might have been the Tide Pod challenge.
Actually, we should bring that one back.
No, that one was dangerous.
Who's gonna eat the Tide Pod?
Yeah, it kills you. It's very bad. Don't do that.
You're trying to get one of us killed in here? Is that what's happening?
If you're dumb enough to eat it, it's survival of the fittest.
Kids don't know better, man. I think that's the root of this hostile takeover. But another one, grade. Just to drive the point home, the cinnamon spoon challenge. Did you guys ever try that one?
I saw videos.
I've done that, actually. It's not great.
We found the kid in the group.
Yeah, it's funny enough. He kind of looks like a cinnamon.
Yeah, if you don't know, that's where you take a giant
red hair.
No, Mike.
Shut up, Mike. So it's where you take a giant spoonful of cinnamon, that dry, powdery crap, and you try and swallow it all at once, and it doesn't go well. Yeah, you inhale half of it.
That sounded like something different than just inhaling cinnamon.
What did it sound like?
I don't want to tell you.
You would know. All right. So, anyways, these damn These damn youngins can't drink their beer without spilling it on their shirt. But they also can't go to these sushi joints anymore because they're causing a muck, okay? Not only, basically, these kids in Japan have been licking other people's sushi. They've been stealing other people's sushi. They've been throwing a bunch of wasabi on other people's sushi.
Dude, that's a wild play, man.
Adam's got beer all over his shirt right now. I just want to point that out.
I already highlighted it.
We're moving
Go
past
check
it.
out the video. It's embarrassing, but we got to keep moving. But you know what? You guys brought to my attention that apparently this is going on at Overland Park in Olathe.
This has been happening for a while, and it wasn't just sushi.
I cannot imagine. Can you imagine being at a burger joint and having your burger go by like every other person in the facility, especially post-COVID?
Well, so the way it works, and at least when they had COVID going on, they had like these glass dishes on top of the sushi, on top of the trays, on top of the plates that they were on. So it would come around in a conveyor belt, and the different color of plates was how much those that sushi roll cost. Or
That's racist.
Okay. So the different color of plates was how much you were going to pay for it. It was going to be like $4, $5, $6, or $7. And so if you got, I mean, like me, I don't really care for sushi that much.
Why are you there?
I really just get the like cooked sushi. And so
That's still sushi though, right?
How does
it is? It's cooked though. It's not like the raw stuff. I don't like raw
it is?
stuff.
No. Yeah.
You can get sushi rolls with not raw stuff in them.
How do you think Mike Tyson says sushi?
Sushi.
Without an ear.
Thuthi.
Oh, wait, that's the other guy. Never mind.
Thuthi?
Evander Holyfield.
But so all these Japanese restaurants are having to basically change their business model overnight. They're putting acrylic barriers up. They're maybe protecting the sushi. They're putting them up high.
Doesn't that seem like something that would have been done during COVID?
Right. I agree.
It's one of the big like cultural differences, I think, between America and Japan. Japan is incredibly low crime compared to the United States. Like you talk about Japan and they're kind of the future of the world. Okay. They have parking garages where you park your car in a spot and then it goes beneath the city and automatically moves to some spot and you get out and move along with your life.
Self valets you like automatically just.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Crazy. They do not have public trash cans. Why? Because everyone takes care of their trash and doesn't litter all over the street.
Wow, what a phenomenal concept that like 30% of our country abides by.
People in America litter all over the street, even with public trash cans.
Yep.
So I don't understand. Yeah.
And it's so this event is so foreign to Japan that like top criminal analysts in Japan are commenting on this recent sushi social media craze.
I'm almost jealous of them in a sense.
Yeah, very much so. And they're demanding that these criminals turn themselves in and repent and be sincerely sorry for their actions and not hide from this crime. They come to light and bring it and like repent. And like that whole concept is just not in America. Not here.
Are they repenting?
I don't know.
I don't think I'd be much for repenting unless somebody had some pretty square evidence of me and my wrongdoing.
Most of this evidence is on social media. I mean, not every incident, right? But like it's becoming a problem because kids are posting it on social media and more kids are doing it.
They're doing it for the follows. They're doing it for the likes. They're doing it for the views. And so when you do that and you put it out on social media, you need to expect that other people are going to be seeing that. And so like these groups that are asking them to repent or do whatever, they're seeing that on there. They know who exactly is posting this. They know who's in the video. So what are these?
What do you mean they know who's in the video? You think they go to their church?
There are people who have been arrested for this already. So someone's figuring out.
Well, if you're being arrested, are you really worrying about repenting at that point?
Typically, you post an Instagram post, you post a TikTok post, you're tagging those people in that video.
If you know them.
Well, the people that are posting the videos are the ones that are doing it.
You do it for clout. You do it for clout.
You do it for the clout.
And you're tagging them in it?
You're tagged yourself. You want the clout.
Yes.
You want the.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
God.
you are the one posting the video. You're in the video. You're the one trying to get
then
just
get
like-
arrested. But like I guess the repentance is where.
I'm not sure if that's happening. I think that's a personal question.
Oh, okay. I follow.
You know what I mean? Like,
Got you.
Even if they turn
Okay.
themselves
I
in,
was
are
like,
they
I'm not.
repenting? I don't know. My mom made me do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But all right, so we started high with Japan winning.
Yeah, we did.
We went low to the youth, and now we're gonna kick them some more here. With Japan launched a $1.5 billion space rocket a couple weeks ago, and
Not a balloon.
not a balloon, solid rocket, and
That was China with the balloon, right? China had the balloon coming over. Okay.
correct. And first stage went off fine. So honestly, from the ground, everything looked great. It got real high in the air, real going up there. But they were unsure if the second stage of the rocket actually ignited to take it into orbit. So unlike China, who just lets their rockets fall and says, "Hey, everybody, look out." They decided to initiate a self-destruction sequence on the rocket, destroying both the $1.5 billion rocket and its payload, which was an Advanced Land Observation Satellite, ALOS-3.
I'm going to make a bold prediction that satellite also was not cheap.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That's crazy.
I think that's generally what the community is mourning, is the payload more than the rocket. Everybody knows a rocket is kind of a bomb pointed in a certain direction.
Likely to be disintegrated at some point.
But it's their first rocket failure in 20 years.
Yee.
Although I'm not really sure that they've launched that many rockets in 20 years.
Their lost reserve should be pretty healthy.
They
Yeah,
gotta
but
try and keep up with the USA and China, don't they?
We're talking about China. Or, sorry, we're talking about Japan. We're talking about Japan. Well, China's... never
a
mind.
COA.
A COA.
But yeah, just both the sushi incident and the rocket incident are a couple weeks ago.
Have us chatting about Japan.
I think it takes a couple weeks for the language to be translated for us to figure out what the heck happened over there. Or maybe it's the time zone shift.
You know, that could be. It also could be due to daylight savings time. Like maybe we lost an hour or something in there. I don't know.
Yeah, that was what it was.
Adam,
We
how do you
meet
feel
again.
How do you feel about
We
daylight
meet
savings time?
again. But alas, we won't meet again. And don't talk to me about the bill not being fucking signed yet.
Still not.
You don't know shit. You didn't research it since last week. Don't tell me you
I
have.
will say the House didn't sign it either. We
It's
missed
not
that.
signed. It's not signed.
Missing 2 John Hancocks.
I think that's more
And
than
I think it's expired since the last time the Senate signed it. So I
Which
Doesn't-
means they got to put it through again.
doesn't
yeah.
sound right.
think we're SOL.
No, daylight savings time is done. Mark my words, just like Japan beating Mexico, mark my words.
That was Mike's
shit is-
words.
Those were my words.
Oh, sorry. Just like Missouri finishing in the top 5. Just like the Royals not hitting 6 to 7 runs, which will inevitably be proven.
We'll see about that. But feel free to go follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
What a pivot.
Instagram, there's always next year pod. Facebook, there's always next year podcast. Twitter, TANY_pod. I mean,
TikTok?
give us a like. Yeah, you can,
TikTok?
You can come find us on TikTok. We're gonna have some videos.
Will they find something?
They will find something. They'll find something this week. We're going to put our TikTok out tomorrow. We're going to have a big grand opening for the TikTok.
Big grand opening.
It's
Come
going to
out
be
to
great. You will, hopefully you've already seen it because by the
Leave it in there. Leave it in there.
because by the time that this video is out, you will already have seen our TikToks. It's
Leave
going
it
to
in
be
there.
great. TANY_pod on TikTok as well.
We want fan mail.
I think my address is just posted out there real quick, so that's great.
I'll post it on my personal social media mediums if Matt doesn't post it.
It's a good thing you don't live here and it's just the studio space we rent.
Right.
Correct.
It's just
I paid
it's
for the
just
studio.
our fan mail address. It's like a P.O. box.
Don't try and come here.
It's like a P.O. box.
It's Cone.
Blessings, friends.
Anyway, don't forget, there's always next year.
All right, some quick feedback. One audience member said, try not to take any more beer showers during the podcast.
One audience member, huh?
Me,
That was bad.
To be fair, I didn't plan to. That was not intentional.